what was beloved as one of those franchises that so many people absolutely were passionate about was Fallout, guys, a series that has spanned since 1997 to basically present day. And I want to talk about in this first segment of the show what happened to this franchise, because I think it comes down to really one bad game, one significant issue, and ultimately what we're hoping for is that this doesn't cost the rest of the entire franchise a serious, downfall, that being a limbo state that we're really hoping that Bethesda decides to continue making these games, even though Fallout 76 was such a badly recepted kind of game. So let's talk about what happened to Fallout as a whole, guys. And obviously, guys, if you look at the release timeline of Fallout, you can see that the first Fallout started in 1997 is when it released, and then a year later you got Fallout 2, so basically back-to-back games. A few years later is when you had Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel, which some of these guys obviously were like side stories and weren't like, very much so like a part of the main story of Fallout. Fallout 3 didn't come out until 2008, so a number of years after Fallout Tactics and Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. And then Fallout New Vegas was another side story in the Fallout franchise. Now, lots of people did not like New Vegas. I didn't like it myself. I thought Fallout 3 was very good, and this was the pinnacle of this franchise, in my personal opinion, is when you had Fallout 1, 2, and 3, you're talking a great 3-game stretch there. Some of the best games. Fallout 3 was highly regarded as one of the best games, of course, that year, and has been considered one of the best games ever, as well as Fallout 4. Fallout 4, guys, was very much so a continuation of what they were doing as far as Bethesda is concerned, and doing a really good job of that. And the reception of Fallout 4 was incredible as well. So you're talking, guys, 4 games here that did really well. Now, I will say this. Between Fallout 1 and 3, you had some, 3 great games, and then, of course, the side stories, and then, of course, Fallout New Vegas, which was a side as well. And then there were some people who really enjoyed New Vegas, others really didn't like it. People thought in 2010, though, that the series was starting to kind of become a little bit flat and was kind of going a little bit downhill. But then, after Fallout Shelter and Fallout 4 came out, the series went right back to where it was. So it kind of peaked with Fallout 3, came down a little bit with Fallout New Vegas, and went back up with Fallout 4. And then, of course, in 2018, so Fallout 4, guys, and Fallout Shelter came out in 2015, and then a few years later, we had Fallout 76, which I think, guys, between New Vegas and Fallout 76, even though Fallout 76 was substantially what I believe is to blame for what happened to this franchise, because you can see from what happened to the franchise, kind of where the franchise began, and then what happened, that being Fallout 76 as well as Fallout New Vegas partially. And then, of course, where is the franchise going now is a very interesting question, because if you look at that timeline and you see exactly where everything kind of like shook up or shaped up here within this franchise, you can see that with Fallout 3, you had a game that went slightly downhill, that being Fallout New Vegas. Then you had Fallout 4 to Fallout 76, which was like that downhill after the incredible incline from Fallout 4, and then Fallout 76 made a serious decline. Now, the question is really all it takes is one game to really hurt a franchise. It takes one game to bring that series back, and that's exactly what I think could happen with Fallout. Now, look, I think that we can argue that Fallout 76 is what really cratered the franchise for the time being. You could say that New Vegas was what started it, and then it just continued, after Fallout 4, even though Fallout 4 was very well received. And then, of course, Fallout, 76. Honestly, guys, you kind of wonder, should they be making side stories anymore? Should they just be making main stories? Because at this point, anytime they've been doing these side stories, it feels like they're just not as widely accepted and not very good reception, so to speak, when it comes to those games or those side stories. Because according to review aggregator Metacritic, the PC and PlayStation versions of Fallout 76 received mixed or average reviews, while the Xbox One version received generally unfavorable reviews. The numerous negative reviews from critics led Forbes to describe the release of Fallout 76 as a historically bad launch, and to question if Bethesda would consider the property worth saving moving forward. Look, I'm going to say, guys, that they probably will consider the property worth saving just because of the success they've had with Fallout 3, with Fallout 4. All these games have done really well. But you look at all of the bad reception, though, around Fallout 76. It's pretty bad. Game Informer gave it a 6 out of 10, which was pretty high, actually. GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10. IGN giving it a 5 out of 10. PC Gamer giving it a 60 out of 100. PC Games giving it a 5 out of 10. So really, when you look at this, guys, I mean, really, it's getting average to low reviews, like just bad reviews all the way around. Metacritic, 52 out of 100 on PC, PS4, 53 out of 100, and Xbox One, 49 out of 100. So very mediocre reviews, but I think we can say that it just wasn't good reviews overall. Now, the sales for Fallout 76 upon launch, Fallout 76 debuted at third place in the UK's all-format sales charts behind Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Red Dead Redemption 2. According to the NPD Group, the game had lower launch sales than either Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas. The game saw a price drop in North America less than 1 week after its initial release, with some pundits listing poor sales as a reason for the cut in price. In the respective opening months, the game's physical sales were less than 1/5 of Fallout 4, which is down 82%, while its digital sales were about half of Fallout 4, down 48%. In Japan, the PlayStation 4 version sold 73,489 copies with its debut week, which made it the second best-selling retail game of the week in the country. SuperData estimated that as of the end of 2018, the game had sold 1.4 million digital copies, which is still a lot of copies when you really think about it, but not so much for a Fallout game. Now look, guys, there's a lot of things that I believe went wrong with Fallout 76. Tons of controversies. We'll get into a couple of those. But I really think, guys, what mainly happened here with Fallout 76, other than the controversies, the fact that they made Fallout 76 an online-only game, not really any story mode, the things that really made Fallout amazing in the past, they kind of took away in Fallout 76, making it this mainly a multiplayer, or online experience, and it just didn't work for Fallout. Let's just put it that way. Fallout 76's Power Armor Special Edition drew controversy upon release. Bethesda advertised that the edition would include a canvas duffel bag, but a nylon one was included instead. Responding to customer complaints, Bethesda claimed that the bag had to be changed due to unavailability of materials and initially stated the intention to take no action. The publisher received criticism for not making the change known beforehand, with Eurogamer pointing out that the bag's description on Bethesda's website had only changed to read nylon after complaints had been submitted. Bethesda later offered affected customers free in-game currency of 500 atoms as compensation, equivalent to $5. And then, of course, guys, there was just so many controversies with this game. And you can watch all that stuff on other YouTubers really covered this when it was going on. I'm not going to go really deep into it, but controversies were a huge part of Fallout 76. Well, let's talk about in September 2019, collectible Nuka-Cola themed Fallout helmets produced by Chronicle Collectibles, of which only 32 of the 20,000 manufactured were sold, were recalled by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission due to containing high levels of mold and posing a health risk. No incidents or injuries were reported. GameStop, which sold the helmets, notified all customers who had purchased a helmet and offered them a full refund. So it was just one thing after the next, guys. And so, look, adding insult to injury here, not only are you getting bad reviews for Fallout 76, you're getting mad controversies. Let's just put it this way. It tarnished Fallout in a way that has really all of the positive things people aren't even thinking about at this point, because they're looking at the right here and right now, and what we see right here and right now are mad controversies as well as just a lot of course, negative reception. And look, guys, I didn't like Fallout 76 at all. I thought it was the worst game easily in the entire franchise. It makes a Fallout New Vegas look really fun, like look really good, even though I didn't like that game either. So all I'm saying is that I believe Bethesda is going to move this kind of deal delicately with this franchise moving forward. I think we are going to see a Fallout 5 at some point or another, without a doubt. But they just gotta really make the things right that they did wrong with Fallout 76. Go back to the story, go back to the basics. Having multiplayer experiences, co-op experiences are great, but when you only have that in a franchise that's known for the campaign, that might pose as an issue right off the bat. But then on top of all of that, you've got all kinds of other issues like controversies and stuff. That just doesn't help, guys, at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think happened to Fallout as a franchise? Was it only Fallout 76? Was it also New Vegas and other games along the way in the franchise? And also, where do you think they're going with the franchise? Do you think a Fallout 5 will come out? I believe there definitely will be, but I'd love to hear from all of you. And for more Fallout content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.